Nick, was this your toothbrush? I found it by your tent.
I thought I put that away. Help!
The prep day.
Prep day.
The day that we set aside just to troubleshoot all the issues we were undoubtedly going to have when it comes to having mini bikes and mopeds.
Right. If there was anything that we learned from the previous trip, the previous season, other adventure, was we got there so late in the day and didn't realize, even consider like towing your bikes across the country, how much rattling and whatever, and that would happen to them. We set aside this day to just work all the stuff out, and then the next day you're gonna leave on the trip in the morning.
Right.
Good call. If you can afford to do that in your schedule, and that's a benefit of going on an adventure closer to home. You know, you don't have to spend an extra day of your vacation driving, and if you can spend it on your bike in a close setting, cool.
Right. And if you have a lot of money and you have reliable bikes, it's not as big of a deal. Right. But
with $500 mopeds, it's a must.
yes. So after our first ride, that day that we got to the campground, we figured out what we had issues with. My bike was pretty much set, and so was yours. Yeah. But Zach had to fool with his carb and his throttle because he couldn't really get his idle right, and it wasn't really running quite right.
So what's going on with your bike?
After we did our test drive last night, you know, it was running pretty good, but not perfect. So today I'm going to test a couple different things and see what's going to work best, and, you know, just go from there.
But then while he was doing that, you and Thad were working on his bike.
Right.
So, if you've been following along, we have a gas issue with this thing, and we can't get our part till tomorrow. Luckily we can get the part, but I've got this old carburetor from my Passport, and the components from it look like that they'll fit. Luckily they came with my pet's medicine. So we're gonna take this apart for the umpteenth time, and hopefully it doesn't leak gas all over the ground after this, but probably will.
Yeah, so the Aero 125 still having this issue with the carburetor, spitting out a lot of gas. It's out the exhaust and dripping gas everywhere, and oil, and just two-stroke stuff. More work on the carburetor. We're doing this at a picnic table, all this little fiddly, you know, a carburetor's full of tiny little parts that you use. You could, tweezers and a microphone. Tweezers and a magnifying glass are pretty helpful with that kind of stuff. And typically I'm a nerd about like bring a magnetic tray so you don't lose the part in the grass. What happens?
You drop it in the grass.
Yeah. So that was a good like 15, 20 minutes of like all four of us tag team, like, let's find this tiny little brass thing. It's here in the grass somewhere.
Yeah, and you did have a magnet that was like just strong enough, and that thing was just magnetic enough to, like, after 20 minutes of us doing this, it connected to the magnet.
But of course we didn't film that, so we did a reenactment.
Here, let me do it again. Oh, you
We're never gonna find it.
This is some grade A acting.
Hey!
Wow.
Nice.
This is how I found the pyramids in Egypt.
This is all the rust that's in the gas tank. Nick, was this your toothbrush? I found it by your tent.
I thought I put that away.
Don't worry, if you brush your teeth with this stuff,
It'll be good to go.
you'll be breathing fire.
So since I had nothing going on, I just spent the day fiddling with a cable cam, which I think we have like a shot from that we could use here.
And then I remember they came, and the park people or whatever at the police or mayor of Campground town was like, hey, you can't tie stuff to the trees.
Yeah, so we had to take it down. Someone saw what we were doing and came over and was like, whoa, what's up? What are you guys doing? And it was always, from there on out, it seemed to be the same type of person. It's always an older guy who had one of the bikes as a kid and da-da-da-da. Well, this guy had been staying at the campground and he saw your bike.
Yeah.
We're
I had
going.
a friend who restored.
This one's mine.
He had like probably 15 of them, all under
really?
100 cc Honda. He was an immaculate, like a maintenance guy.
Yeah.
When he got married, his wife knew how he was with these things. He had 2 in his living room, right on their white carpet, just like showpieces. He was so nutty about them.
We're taking these from Milwaukee to Traverse City.
Are you really?
Yeah. We're actually looking for feedback. Which one of these you think is the coolest?
Sounds like there's been a
Tomas.
competition among you.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna go there because I had one.
Okay.
So that means I got 1 point on my tally sheet, right?
Yeah, you do.
So, how do you feel knowing that to start the day, your bike wasn't told it was the coolest?
Well, but it was the one that got the attention, so. Dad, you owe me part of that point.
Okay, so I get half point.
I forgot to ask him if he had a MySpace.
Oh, dude, you should check out the new song.
How are we
on
gonna
my
keep up with
MySpace.
him?
Sweet new song on my MySpace.
And there is a whole point system that's going to continue. Hopefully we can keep it going throughout the season. There's different points. I'm interested to see who wins on these arbitrary points we came up with.
Right, yeah, because we started to form them like who could go the farthest, who could go the fastest, who had the most breakdowns, all sorts of
Gas
stuff.
mileage, yeah.
And then who got the most looks and likes and stuff like that. But Thad,
Plus 1 point. Ding.
It was nice to have that time to fool around. Nick farted around with the drone.
Yeah.
Because he had never flown one before, so he had fun with that. And then we actually had time to go film my little like Dumb and Dumber intro. So you'll notice I have a Sharpie colored tooth for the rest of this video because it didn't come off.
Does it look real?
Yeah. From afar.
It works. Hold on, I gotta let it dry.
Do this selfie, you know.
That's probably me.
You know, we have tons of footage
So
of fiddling with a carburetor.
that'll be.
Like way too much that you guys are just gonna get bored of.
This is like a traditional Star Wars mask.
You're not my dad, though.
Okay.
Eventually, you guys did get it running right. You had the spare part from the Passport, and it quit leaking gas.
Yeah.
Well, I just replaced the float all by myself, and we're gonna go warm this bad boy up. Oh shit.
Let's hope that needle holds. We got a new needle in, and hopefully it don't leak anymore. The irony, it was in my garage the whole time.
All right, let's test it out.
And that was something that, like, we need to get this.
It's figured out.
Before we go.
We can't be spewing gas for 500 miles everywhere. It's going to be a fire.
And then it was time to kind of, like, add some flair to our bikes.
Yeah.
And, you know, him and I had both already kind of, like, done that. You had a shark. I had my chicken.
And I had a gift, right?
That's right.
So Andrew has been hinting at a gift that he has for me for the past week and a half, and he now wants to unveil it to me. So
Any guesses what it is? It's in here. It's not this.
it's got to be something light and small. A hairnet?
And I got it at the Bedford, Indiana Gem Show.
Gem show. Is it gonna be a chakra rock or something? Oh, this is from Dumb and Dumber. The
Did
bike
they?
had this on it.
Did it?
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect.
This is perfect. I should show you the Google image. They had this on the bike.
nice.
This is perfect.
I didn't even know that, but it just seemed fitting.
Yeah, thank you.
Are you guys
It
gonna
might
kiss?
make you go a little faster.
It will, definitely.
So let's hear about some of your new additions.
Oh yeah, I got a new horn, a rear horn. And then I've got my briefcase, you know, with all the important documents that we're transferring. And then this sweet tail.
Talk about a sick ride, bro.
But this really cool raccoon tail.
Yeah.
David
Oh,
that guy?
Boone, Daniel Boone.
Daniel Boone and David Bowie.
Yeah,
both have
David
those
Bowie.
Hats with the little raccoon tail, and you can too if you go to the Bedford, Indiana gym in Rockford.
And the rest of the guys found little things to stick, like Zack put
Yeah,
a
the
snake,
snake, yeah.
on his front fender, and Thad actually had done some stickers. And this time around, we actually had a small sponsor.
Cardo headsets, which are really cool. I use one. My wife and I use them on the bikes, and we reached out to them and said, "Hey, we're doing this," and they lent us a couple, and I had one of my own, so everybody kind of got hooked up with those Cardo headsets.
We're in a campground right next to the dumping station, but we're gathered here today to install our Cardo headsets. Because last time we kind of had a mix match.
We got these
had to
like
toggle back and
we had
forth.
the BTS2s that are like Chinese ones for $30.
So yeah, we felt we were lacking in that department, and then we think these guys are gonna do the trick. Here, guys, the packaging on this, they tried.
That's what we look like when we put these on.
Yeah. Things just get real blurry
Yeah.
when you're not.
That's pretty sweet, man.
Yeah.
So everybody gets a unit. I have mine on the left because I have my throttle
keep the
hand.
throttle.
That's not a bad idea.
Does it, so it Bluetooths to your phone for like music, but when we're talking to each other, is that going through the phone?
So if I say, "Hey Zach," it will duck out your music and you'll
Okay.
hear me, and then it will bring your audio back up, and I won't hear your audio.
Oh, awesome.
can
But
find
these are useful for if you're riding and doing like longer tours, you can hook it up to your GPS, and like
Yeah.
the GPS can tell you where to go and like when your
yeah,
turns are
that's
coming up
awesome.
and stuff like that. So like if you're out in the woods, out in the wilderness, and you don't have cell service, these will still communicate with each other?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So they send you with these two different style mics. So you can see how Andrew has his, which is good for his helmet because it pulls off.
Yeah.
But see how mine doesn't open? I can adhere the mic to my padding here. And then you could clip it or stick it, and we all have been able to clip it like that. So if we wanted to, you could take the whole mounting piece off, but you shouldn't have to, you know, for the thieves out there, you just charge it. Bing, bing, bong, boom.
We just want to say thanks. We want to say thank you to Cardo for sending out those microphones, and it's taken us a long time to get this together, and we appreciate you being patient. It was a super big help for the entire trip, and we really enjoyed them, and we've gotten great use out of them.
Yeah, they're awesome. Go buy one.
Yes, support Cardo.
There's probably a link in the description.
Yes.
Yeah.
JBL, man, we are high dollar. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got our mics hooked up to our helmets. We had all of our flair on, and so it was kind of getting toward the end of the day. Rocky knocked the box over, and then we set out to that lighthouse the cop had suggested because he said there was beach access.
Do we need to go to the gas station?
I think so.
Yeah.
We got to this gas station, which was like a whole thing.
Dad, you can't stay on the road, man. Maniac. You're darn tootin'. I'm an off-road boy. Andrew, your tire is incredibly low. Is it? Yeah. Do you have an extra tube and everything?
Does anyone else need gas?
We need to fill up this gas. Is that a Harley you're filling up there, boy?
Yeah, it's a bobber.
Are you gonna go around and go blah, 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 blah.
It's a chick magnet.
And, you know, you had to fill your tire up with your little boom,
Oh yeah.
your little portable pump.
Look how much I spent, guys. It's $1.50 to fill this thing.
I'm just gonna take this side cover off so I can keep messing with the idle.
And Thad was just being Thad.
Hello? Help me! Help!
We were ready to go, and Nick was in the back of the truck bed, but this time sitting down. And we rode out.
On the road again.
Watch out for Coco.
It was a super, really easy first ride.
Yeah.
The roads were just straight flat. It was like all 35 miles per hour, back roads, and it was a really good start.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I never really realized how loud my bike was, and then I watched like the camera of Thad or you behind me, and it's like I'm a Harley.
Yeah, it is loud. But I can't imagine that guy around the corner is like, what, you hear that?
I bet
Is that
that's
a panhead?
I bet that's a badass bike coming.
Yeah.
It's like,
And then here we come. And that image is the whole point of this whole thing.
Exactly.
So whoever that guy is that experienced that, this was all for you.
Yeah, and I think the funnest part of that like initial ride was, you know, and during the whole trip, we kept trying to get real motorcycle riders.
To wave at us.
Yeah.
When you're riding motorcycles of the wave, you know, Jeeps do it too. But it's like, yeah, the little peace sign or whatever. I try to do like a real dorky one. I remember seeing a guy in a chopper like, yeah. But it's a thing. It's very much a thing, and it's not a thing for scooters. Because I've been on my street bike and wave at scooters, and you can tell they're like, what?
Right.
Do I have a flat?
Yeah, it's almost like you're a lower class.
Right.
You know?
It is,
like
yeah.
You are not as cool as the people who are on real bikes.
Right. Yeah.
So it was a huge, like, we would get so stoked. And then Nick had a little spill in the truck bed.
Again.
Turning in. Nick took a dive. Nick took a dive.
When we got there, it wasn't like this like super awesome approach or beach access like we had thought. And right when we pulled up, Thad was like,
Are they doing yoga? We should ruin their day.
like, cause that's how he thinks. That's just like,
there's a yuppie doing a thing. I'm gonna
Ruin
be
it.
annoying and ruin it for them.
Not much of a beach.
we saw there was a dock that was open down there, so we thought, hey, let's go down and check out the water and get some shots.
Remind me to never do this again wearing sandals. Not this specifically, but trying to drive in the back of the truck.
Yeah, you took
Film in the back of the truck.
spill.
Nick took a dive.
I don't actually smoke, it's just for this.
It was kind of this fun thing to start the trip with, where it's like we're on the like almost exact opposite side of
Right.
Lake Michigan right now.
Right, yeah, where we're going.
We're gonna end up.
You guys know where we're ending? Right there.
On the other side.
Since we were out there, we were just like, well, we drove out here, we should probably go see this lighthouse.
Yeah.
Little queen.
And little did we know, like, it was kind of a big touristy
yeah,
spot.
to go, yeah.
And everybody who was there looked like they were dressed up and like nice, and there was nice landscaping, and it was this nice lighthouse, and then here we are sweaty, like on these shitty bikes, and we're rolling up, and you could tell there's like a guy getting out of his car very slow. Like, who are these guys?
Right, you getting looks for sure. You felt out of place.
Oh, there's a professional photographer out there. Let's go show her what's up.
Not getting any waves around here.
No waves. There was one guy on a bicycle who was like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Who came up. But other than that, it was like we're super out of place, which was perfect. It was the perfect feeling we needed for being on Crusty Crusaders.
Yes.
We were fitting right into the
Right.
bill.
We were definitely getting acclimated into the coming days and the rest of the trip.
Yeah. So that was it, man. We had gotten the bikes fixed. We had all of our stuff geared up. Our cameras were working.
Right.
We knew how we were going to run it.
Right.
So we had a gang of crusty dudes ready to go on a 500-mile journey from Milwaukee, Wisconsin to Traverse City, Michigan. Little did we know how rough it was really going to get. So keep your eyes peeled for day one.
Day one. Day 1 of Krusty Crusader Season 2, the part where we're actually driving.
Where we're
part.
actually
The stuff you
doing.
want to see is coming up next.
So keep watching.
Wasn't there also the fart guy?
I was hoping you'd remember that.
We're walking up, and like you said, it's this like everybody's got their polo shirt on, and let's go see the lighthouse.
Yeah.
And there's like a couple, a big couple, and
Heavy set.
husky, sturdy people in front
Walking
of us.
in front of us, and everybody's talking. And yeah, keep in mind, everyone is having conversations with themselves. And so there's like a slight murmur going on. You know, it's not like dead silent. And then you just hear the rumble of some massive cheeks. And
That's
it
real
was,
cheek flapper.
yeah. And it was a good long rip. And it just silence. And then you say,
Everybody stops talking. Yeah.
don't worry, nobody heard it.
Well, maybe we weren't the like most redneck people at the lighthouse that day.